Hey Dom, how you doing?
Good, Bernard. How are you?
All right, awesome. Allison, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good, doing good. All right. Let's give it a minute here, get everybody in. Roger, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Catherine, welcome. How you doing? Say hi to everybody. Everybody, welcome, Catherine. Okay, let's see if Ben jumps in here and get a Reese. I'm sure we'll be late as usual, being the um, artist that he is. I don't know what I was about to say there. Okay. All right. Everybody's doing good. All right. Let's do it. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go around and check in with everybody to see if you're doing the exercises. Let me know if you have any trouble at all. And also, if something has come up that you can definitely 100% relate to doing these exercises, which would be evidence, you know. Um, Also, when I think we can do you first, Catherine, because that way you can introduce who you are and tell us, why you're in the class. And also, since you did watch you know, all the class so far, mostly, right? Did you get through most of it?
All except for week 4. I got
Okay.
halfway through week 4.
Okay, that's fine. So the most important thing for right now is just getting in like at least 1 and 2. So you kind of see how the flow works. So you can introduce yourself. Hi, my name is, this is why I'm here, what I want to do. And then tell us if you started doing the exercises since you learned them.
Hi guys, so my name is Catherine Blankenbiller. I am in Honeybrook, Pennsylvania. I'm actually from outside of Reading. So Allison, I feel your pain about being in Reading.
Hmm.
And so I'm here because I used to always want to act, and I kind of did the adult thing and went and I got the college degree and have the corporate job, but I'm just not satisfied. So I'm hoping that acting, if I go back to something that I really wanted to do, it'll help spark my passion again. And in terms of the exercise, so I finished week 1 on Sunday, and meditation was actually something that I've always done. So the meditation part was pretty easy. And the affirmation was something that I started at the beginning of the year. So it was just different for me to put on a different twist to it. And then I did start doing the thinking positive about someone, and I did my mom only because of family tensions. And then a goal that I have is for by the end of the year is to like either have an agent or a manager, because this is something that I want to try to pursue professionally. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Good. Give her a hand for all that. Good job. Catherine, that's great. And it's cool that you have that ability to kind of relate to Allison. And actually, Dom has actually been through the whole corporate world himself, and now is like kind of starting now after that experience. So you're definitely in good company. And, you know, it is like I heard you say try, so like not to be like Yoda because I look nothing like him, but um, I love him. But it's like it's a decision. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna make a decision just like you've made with everything else in your life. And if this is a decision that you can get behind 100%, and it's something that you feel good right within, like you could do it for a couple of years and be like, you know what, this is not feeding my soul. Maybe it's time to go on to something different. But if it is something that is true to you, then it is a decision that you're making. You know, and wherever you end up in it will be where you end up in it, but it will be obviously light years away from something that you were not feeling that was your calling or something that was kind of perfectly fit for you. And that happens a lot. You know, people go in because they want to do acting, but they come out like as a writer, you know, or they, you know, and whatever, as long as you're able to express yourself artistically, you know, that's a good thing, you know, because you're on the right path and you're the only one that can answer that question. But I'm glad, I'm happy that you're kind of focusing your energy now onto something that you really feel is the thing that's going to bring you the most happiness, you know? And although I'm not like a family counselor, even though I have been paid to actually work with children, you know, with problems and stuff like that at one point, you dealing with any kind of feeling towards your mother is going to be very helpful, you know, very helpful, because any kind of negative energy that you have putting out there is going to slow you down, whether it's acting or anything else. You know, the goal is to get you into the highest vibration that you possibly can, period. And if there's any kind of guilt, shame, hatred, fear, all that stuff, is there anything like that inside you? We got to get it out, and it's possible, but it takes time, you know. um some people, it doesn't take as much time as other people. And when I say it takes time, I don't mean it takes time like 5 years. I mean, it takes time. Like, it takes you deciding that you're going to do that. The time could pass in a day, or the time could pass in a year. I mean, it doesn't matter what it's going to be. It's whatever, however big of a hold it has on you. So you'll need to put attention and energy on allowing that to kind of be released out of you. And we all have it, you know, and we constantly work on it. And that's the one good thing about meditation and doing these exercises, because these exercises are not the end all be all, but it's just a way to positively affect your vibration on a daily basis in a habitual, repetitive format. And if you're doing that, you're on the right track. And that's the whole name of the game, because that will give you success in whatever, you know, path you choose, because you'll just be much more positive and you'll be attracting positive experiences and everything. So welcome. It's good to hear. Thank you for sharing that. And we'll get the best out of this for you. All right. Awesome. Who wants to go next? Roger. Yes,
Sure.
Roger.
Yeah. I was trying to find the mute button. Give me a second here. Anyways, yeah. So I continue to do the meditation at night before sleeping. That's because it puts me to sleep. I did have a question about the appreciation piece, which is that I find myself basically repeating like the same like 4 or 5 things over and over again, right? About the person I'm appreciating. I mean, that is should we be trying to like find different things to appreciate, or is that kind of like repetition okay?
Yeah, in a way you should find something to appreciate, but basically what you do is you literally appreciate whatever it is that they're giving.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, like, the problems that we have most of the time is we don't approve of someone's behavior, right? And we're like, they're okay, but damn it, I don't like the way they do this. I don't like the way they do that, right? So what happens is you almost like ruminate, fixate, or concentrate on them displaying that behavior. So what I'm trying to kind of get through here with this one is just, you look at their behavior and you actually appreciate their behavior. So in other words, if they come up and they're really annoying whenever they talk to you, so they're like, "Oh, hi, Roger. How you doing?" You're like, "God, I hate that voice." And they're just talking like such bullshit and they don't really mean what they say. That's what I'm trying to tell you to appreciate. Instead of rejecting that, or instead of not, like, say, well, look at that. They're talking and there they go in that voice again. And even though they don't mean what they say, it's their way of trying to communicate with me. It's the best way that they can communicate with me. Do you understand? I'm trying to find like this silver lining in whatever negative thing. no matter what it is they're doing, they're an alcoholic. And, oh, you know, I had this problem with my brother. It was like, you know, not to shout him out, but, or, you know, in my family, I've had alcoholism. So it's like, you know, I was starting to fixate on like that. What you got to do is you got to be like, well, you know what? They do that. And for some reason, they need that. I wonder why that is. Is there a way that I can maybe help so that maybe I can give them the motivation that they need to help them with that thing? So instead of like, you have to kind of flip the script on any type of negative vibration that you're sending out. And that's really, truly what the appreciation is about. And what you can also do is you can literally just send appreciation. You can send a very, like, you can hear, for example, what Catherine just said. And you can appreciate what she just said and just send her that. Just look at her, right? Focus on her and be like, oh, cool. Yeah, I can see this dream for you as well. Yeah, I'm so glad that you decided to go for it. Yeah, you're going to get it. And then I'm looking at her and I'm like, I can see her smiling and I can see her really happy. And I can see her talking to all of us and saying, hey guys, guess what just happened? This really cool experience. I just got an audition, or I'm this much closer. See, that's the type of appreciation. It's really like going in and editing your energy or your like habitual kind of thought that you have for someone. And it works so effectively with people that annoy the shit out of you, because they're the biggest detractors of you being the best thing that you could be. Because for some reason you keep vibrating towards them in a negative way. I mean, Gandhi didn't do that. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't do that. Mother Teresa didn't do that. Whatever kind of negativity they saw, they actually sent, you know, a vibe of love towards that. Do you understand? And then that's how they became even more vital and like, you know, just their presence grew, because all energies could find solace in them no matter what. Like energies that are having a rough time felt like they would not be judged. And, you know, that means that you've got like, you know, good energies, but you got all energies now. You know, here you are operating here on the planet and you've got everybody that respects you, you know? So it's kind of like, why not be like that? You know, just be appreciative, because, you know, you can rule your will the way you want to. I mean, you have free will. You don't have to engage people that you don't want to. You can make that stop whenever you want. But we get a little fixated on people that are close to us. And sometimes we, you know, we sit there and we're like, God damn it, what the hell, you know? And it's like, that's not helping anybody. It's not helping you. It's not helping them, you know? So you just got to practice every day. Literally practice it. You got to sit there and like, look at them, see them in your mind, and send them, you know, whatever's happening, even if they're in front of you and they're like, Roger, you just got to be like, okay, cool. Look at you. You're bitching about something again. How about that? It's a daily, it's rough, man. It's not easy. It's like, it's not easy. Some people are always on that, like, you know, they're just always on that bitch tip, right? They're always bitching about something, right? And you're just like, Jesus Christ, when can you see the light? But even that is like, you got to send patience to those people, because that's what they need. They need somebody to send them patience. Most people in their life do not have patience for them. Does that help? Cool. You're gonna be a regular Swami after this class, if you if you allow. All right. So thanks, Roger. Awesome. Give him a hand for doing that, doing the meditations. Good work, man. All right, Allison. How about you?
Yeah, so I've been doing all three every day. I do it first thing in the morning when I get up, so it sets me up for the day. And I really, I guess like I noticed like a big change in just like my general like outlook on starting the day. But I was kind of, I know you're not supposed to like put any sort of expectations on meditation, but I was kind of hoping I would like have some kind of idea or like something that would like at least like put me in motion somehow. And at the end of my meditation over the weekend, one day, an ad came on that gave me an idea for something to like go after. And I wrote a script for my audition reel for The Bachelor. So it's not like highbrow acting, but it's something
Good.
different. Gonna put myself in a position to get lucky. And I'm really excited about it. And it's like, it came out way better than I expected. And I'm gonna film it with my sister this weekend. So I'm all excited.
That's awesome. Yes, congratulations. Good. That's good. That's good.
Thanks.
That's amazing. Yes, because that's exactly what you need to do. You need to take inspired action and do it, you know, and like any kind of audition and any like that process in and of itself is going to be a positive thing for you, you know. It's just going to be, and if you get on there and you do the audition or whatever you have to do, I mean, it's every part of it's going to be great because it's going to be a lot different than when you were just thinking about being involved somehow in the business, right? And then, hey, you could end up getting a husband too. So that would be cool,
Look out.
right? Like you literally get a husband, you go on a TV show and you come out and you're like married with a husband. That's great. So,
Might be slightly more for the platform than the husband, but I'll take both. It's fine.
but yeah, you might as well, you know, you could get some really rich dude and then you'd be set for a little while, you know, get a little spot out in LA and then, you know, just get a divorce and you'll be fine. But that's cool. I'm so glad. That's good. You're taking action. You're getting something done. That's good. Way to go. Awesome. All right, Dom. Oh, give her a hand. Did we give her a hand? We already gave her a hand. Good. Give her a hand again.
Okay. No, sorry.
Yeah, Dom.
All
Yeah.
right. So all three exercises I've been doing regularly every day. Started doing more meditation in the morning now with visualization. So I'm basically visualizing my day, but I'm also using something that you introduced and I kind of looked at that I could be doing better, and that is scheduling. So on Sunday night, I basically outlined my whole week. And during that day, you know, I'm always working out. I'm down, I don't mind gloating a little bit, but I'm down 46.2 pounds since April 1st.
Jesus, good job, man.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
amazing.
going to hit 50 soon. That's going to happen at the end of the month, and I'll be there.
Nice.
But one of the things
That's
I
great.
wasn't doing was including to develop me as more of an actor. You know, I was putting down, push-ups here, hit gym, but I wasn't really developing my brain. So now I allow myself 1 hour a day for, I call it craft. So whether it be going on YouTube to watching an acting teacher or, you know, or if there's a great movie or an actor I really like, I just watch the movie and just study him. So I started doing that. That's been helpful. And also the Monday classes, and Catherine, I know you're new. They're just really good. And it's not really even about acting. It's just, I leave that call. I don't like, I was at my friend's house because I didn't want to miss it. But after that call, I just felt so at peace. It sounds so weird. It was like all this goodness. And it just seemed like I was with people who had the same drive, the same vision. And it was like refreshing. It was energizing. And it was just incredible. And it's a great class. And I would suggest anybody to do it. Again, it is about acting, but it's not in a way. It's a weird thing. You have a good thing going. But that's something I really enjoy doing on Mondays. So, but yeah,
Cool.
things have been great. I'm excited for next week. And yeah.
Awesome, Dom. Yeah, give me a hand. That's good. That's good. Awesome. And thank you. Thank you for acknowledging the Monday. And the Monday is really just like, it's kind of like a culmination of what I never got as an actor and all these acting classes and all these acting coaches. And it was like, to me, it's like a missing link, because how in the hell are you supposed to be the product and run your product the right way if you don't know like the way behind this, it's like the Wizard of Oz. Remember that movie? And
Yeah.
you pull and you go back behind the curtain. Like, I'm trying to show you all what's behind the curtain. Do you know
Mhm.
what I mean? On Mondays. Because if you can learn, we could sit here in the class and learn and be the best memorizer and all that. But like, if you don't understand all those types of concepts, it's just going to be a different experience, you know?
Yeah. I wish
So
I had this 20 years ago. I mean, my life probably would have been completely different. So it's not just with acting. Like I said, I'm not kissing your butt.
no,
It
it's
really means,
everybody. It's not just
yeah,
me. It's
it carries
everybody's willing.
over.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
everybody there.
it
That's
carries
what.
over to your career. It carries over to life, and it's so important. I think what you're doing is a good thing, and I look forward to Mondays a lot.
Cool. Thanks, man. I'm glad. I'm glad it has value.
Yeah.
And they're all recorded, by the way. So when you click in, you can get through all. There's like 22 of them now, so that's almost like 6 months. So you can go back and there's also notes too, you know, so you can read it. But I'm glad that is working out like that, Dom. Awesome. And it always open too. If you can tell me something that you all need, you know, you can always send me an email and say, hey, Bernard, what's this about? Can you talk about this? You know, what do you know about this? If I don't know it, I'll ask one of my friends that does know it. And I'd love to bring it to you
And
all,
just
you know,
on
to
that note,
help.
too, Bernard, one of the things I really, and I don't bring up on the class, but I think as a beginning actor, and I don't want to, because you have a lot of people who are in it for a while, I would just really love a class or just something like a blueprint. Basically, when you start acting, like, do you get headshots right away? Do you have to go to a casting? Like, what are I guess, the natural steps in a way? And I think for me, that's something I would love that just because I'm anxious. Like I said, I want to full speed ahead, but it's like, well, what is step A and what is step B? You know, I think,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely. And I decided actually what I was going to do is kind of take, you know, if any of you in this class wanted to move forward and do more ongoing, I decided I was going to just make an ongoing intro class so that we could cover exactly what you just said. And it would be same as the master class where it just works like month to month. So you could just, you know, you could get out of it what you need to get out of it, but it would be kind of like what you just said, Dom, like a blueprint. Like, let's start here with a goal of within, like, you know, a couple months, you're over here. And, you know, and I have the, you know, photographer queued up for you guys and all that other stuff. So it's a matter of, you know, I mean, there's other people that are, you know, interested in what's next that are not in this class. And I'm going to basically tell you guys and all of them at the same time so that I can build a class, you know? So, and they're going to get the 3-hour intro class that I did last week so that they understand what you all just learned in the last 6 weeks so that they can make it a habit as well, you know? So, but, you know, it takes time to go deeper. You have to not only hear it, but you have to experience like what we're talking about. So you have to kind of take, like, for example, some of those responsibilities and do it so that you actually have an experiential event with it. And then that's when it kind of sticks, you know, with you. So, okay, cool. Yeah. I'll get more into detail towards the end, but thanks, Dom, for that. Ben, are you ready to rock? And Ben, try to, if you can, just bring your face up a little bit because we usually just get your eyes. There you go. Much better. And now we just need to hear you. Are you able to hear us, Ben? Just give us a hand signal. Okay, yes. Okay. So yeah, just see if you can bring up your, like, what are you using, a cell phone or a computer? Cell phone. So just hold it up. Hold it up in front of you so we can see it. And now you got to turn your volume on. You're still muted. So it might, try your earpiece. If you take your earpieces out, see if it works. If you take your earpieces out, I mean, you know, unplug them out of the phone. Yeah, still can't hear you. All right, look, we're going to, why don't you just type in the chat for now? Like I had to do last week. Was that last week where like my video wasn't working, right? This has been pretty wild storms and everything this summer. My God, tornadoes and coronas and I mean, Jesus, what the hell is going to happen next? Seriously. My God. All right. So you want to type in, just tell us what's going on there, Ben, so we can make sure everything's all good with you, man. Can you hear me, Ben? All right. And I saw Ghetto Reese come in and out. Okay, here we go. So yeah, it might be that you just have a bad connection because you're in a,
You got it? I
now we
got it
can
now.
hear you. Yeah, now we can hear you.
yeah. Yeah, I had to do
All right.
settings. Yeah, yeah, I did all the 7 days and yeah, I felt more disciplined and just getting ready for acting for like just getting more comfortable with more control of my mind with the
Good.
meditation. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, more comfortable in my mind and stuff with my the meditation.
Okay, good. Yeah, you got to get in control of your thoughts.
Yeah, and the appreciation. Yeah, I'm appreciation more people that annoy me. Like they still annoy me, but I still appreciate them more. So like,
Who are these people,
I'm doing
Ben?
good with that.
Who are they?
Just annoying people, not relatives. It's annoying people that
people.
I have to deal. Yeah, it's people.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Because you don't want to have that. You don't want to be carrying around that negative vibe. You know.
Yeah,
You gotta.
yeah, I'm not with that.
Because whatever it is that you have within is what you're gonna experience
Yeah.
without. You know. So
Yeah.
you got to really monitor yourself and be honest with yourself. Because. All right. So. Anything else? Question or anything from you?
Nah, I'm just doing good with the meditation though. Like I'm doing it before I go to sleep every night. That's making me more like aware of that. I gotta do it every night, every day.
Good. Good.
More. So I like doing it before nighttime, like before I go to sleep.
All right. Excellent.
That's really it. Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. Give him a hand.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, okay. Who remembers where we left off with the vocab? I have it down here. I just want to, I know I covered a couple different things at the very end, like imagination and,
You talk about concentration and the image of self.
perfect. So did we get into moment before? Preparation.
I don't think so. No.
We got
okay.
preparation. We got
Preparation, yeah.
preparation.
Mhm.
All right. So moment before diction, any of that?
Not diction.
Nah.
Okay. All right. So moment before is exactly what it sounds like. Moment before is literally like before. Okay. So who's got a monologue? Dom, like for instance, your monologue. So go ahead and start out your monologue. Just start.
Okay. Rehabilitation. Well, now let me see. I don't have any idea what that word means.
Okay. Cut. Now, when you say the word rehabilitation,
Yeah.
what happened right before you say that word? Like what caused you to say the word rehabilitation? Like why did you even say that?
I'm in front of a parole board going for parole. And
Perfect. So somebody may have just asked you a question.
Correct.
And who was it?
It was one of the members of the parole board
Cool.
asking me if I was rehabilitated.
Perfect. And what did they look like and sound like?
They were a skinny white guy in a white shirt, black tie, like a businessman haircut, wearing glasses, sounded very squeaky.
Perfect. Okay. So that's exactly what cues you up to say the word rehabilitation.
Correct.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like literally just say rehabilitation, like you're answering this guy.
Mhm.
And when you look outward, you look right at him. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So you literally want to see him, and where you're going to focus is not directly into the camera,
Okay.
either to the left, to the right, just above or below doesn't work because then it looks like you're looking down. Above is a little too, it doesn't work either because the camera is usually, you know, like it just looks weird. But if you can go to like to the left or the right and place this guy there, that's a good spot for what's called your eye line.
Okay.
Because you really want to have most of your face shown whenever you're doing anything, you know, unless it's like a brief moment, brief second where you turn or whatever it is. But
Right.
most of the time they, you know, auditioners and they want to see your face. They want to see how your face reads the emotion and stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, cool. So moment before, yeah, just that. It's like the time right before you start talking. It actually sets up whatever words you're going to say. Does that make sense, everybody? Clear? So something that's very important, like before you start your monologue, you have to consider your moment before. Preparation. Preparation is literally could make or break your performance. Some people prepare and they don't get creative with their preparation. They use everything that they hear and they just do that. And they think that, oh, well, that's what the person said. That's what I should do. Okay, right? Preparation is like doing all that someone shows you, but then also if you get an intuitive nudge that you follow it. If you get an artistic nudge that you follow it, you know, because when you start putting energy and attention into something, it starts providing. So it starts showing you, it starts, you know, letting you in a little deeper, so to speak, right? So preparation could be, you know, I remember one time I was playing some sick guy in like out of the 18th century. And it's like, you know, he had one of these like pneumonia or whatever the hell it was. And it happened to be snowing. So before it was my turn to go up and perform, I went out in the snow, stripped down to my underwear and sat there in the snow until I started to freeze, right? Now nobody like told me that. In acting book 101, you will go outside and sit in your underwear in the snow. No one told me that, right? But everything else that I had prepared, I knew all my lines. I had an idea of what I was going to do. And then all of a sudden, lo and behold, it was a crazy snowstorm, right? And it was the perfect opportunity for me to get more into the scene, to walk in literally shivering, right? As if I was sick and, you know, it looked like I was sweating, and then carry out the scene. And then as the scene transpired, everybody that was watching it, including the teacher, they got more into it, which fed me. That fed my acting chops. Do you all understand that? Because my preparation was like kind of above and beyond right there. And it was a little intuitive nudge, and it was like a little creative idea, and it was executed upon. And that, I think, is going to be cool for everybody, you know, to find your own, you know, to find your own little artistic expression. And those are the moments that, you know, people will be like, yo, that was really good. Or somebody gives you, and you can build on those, you know, good equity. Yeah, Dom.
Just a quick question. Like you're saying, you're getting your kind of mindset into the role. Have you ever used like music to get yourself in a certain position mentally, you know, emotionally?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you can do it for this because you can bring it in. Like if the music will set the tone of whatever the scene is that you're doing. But also, you know, we use that in sports. Any of you that have played sports, I mean, I don't know, when you guys go to the gym, I can't handle like the gym music that's being played because it's, you know, half the time it's like some love music. And nothing is love music, but not at the gym, right? It's like someone like, I love you, sugar baby. And it's like, Jesus Christ, I'm trying to like grow my body right now. It's like, are you kidding me? So I bring the headphones and blast whatever it is, you know, that motivates me. So yeah, you can absolutely 100% use it for this too. but use it very specifically. Like, what is the music that would be playing? What makes sense? What serves whatever the story, the character, or whatever the situation is? Got it? Cool. All right. Diction. Diction is just practicing the way you speak. I'm not a voice coach, but sometimes when people come from other land, other parts of the world, and they have an accent, and they're like, I got this accent. I'm like, you know what? I can tell you this always works. Speak louder and faster. So they're like, hi, how are you? I'm like, say, hi, how are you? And they just by putting more energy and being louder, it makes things more clear and audible. And then they hear themselves speak like that. And then they stop saying, oh, I can't speak too good. You see what I mean? Because they hear themselves speak. And then we all are like, yeah, you did a really good job. And then it's kind of like right there in that moment, it's like, wow, it's like almost like they're cured, right? Of like that they thought that they weren't speaking that good. But it's just that they're not confident because they don't think they can speak good. So when you're not confident, you don't have any energy there to do anything. You have a lower vibration. But as soon as you introduce a higher vibration, and then you realize like you did a good job, then all of a sudden you're like motivated, and all of a sudden then it feels like, holy crap, I'm starting to get this. But diction is good because right now, as you all are, I am purposely, trying to my best to have good diction, speak close into the microphone, like, because I don't want to be like talk like I would normally if I'm just not doing this, or I was like, oh, what's up? Like I would be kind of like a little bit lazier talking. But when I'm teaching, right, I have to 100% have good diction. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. I articulate, the thoughts clearly so that they come across and for maximum impact, So when you act, start to think about that when you're speaking. All right? Because that will really help. Projection. Anybody know what projection is? Roger?
Yeah, like just like where you send your voice to.
Yep. That's a great point. And what would you do if you walk into a room, a big room, and you had somebody with a camera on you and a microphone like sticking out in the middle of that big room? What would you do?
I mean, it depends on who you're talking to, right?
Well, you could use projection to figure out how loud you would have to be.
Okay.
Just like a musician would like go up and start testing their instruments. You want to start, hey, okay. Or just say like whatever's in your script and just start speaking it out so that you can feel your levels. So that way, when you start talking, right, it's not all of a sudden the space is so big that it takes your voice, because your voice goes off and it's like, and then you're like, oh my gosh, and you're overcompensating. And then it seems like it's a little weird when you speak. So you want to go in and test some levels for yourself. And you'll get to understand what that's all about. But most of the time when you go into an audition room, nobody has enough money to buy a big audition room. So it's a small room, right? They're not most of the time renting out a huge hall. It's like a small little white room. And, but you don't want to be too loud either, right? Because whatever microphone, that's going to magnify your voice. So you don't want to act like you're screaming, right? When you don't mean to be screaming. So that's another thing to think about. And then the other idea of projection is something when it comes to self-consciousness. Does anybody feel like they're a little self-conscious or shy or nervous? Okay. So here's something I really am happy to tell you about because it's really going to help you with that. So there's what's called self-consciousness. And then you can also use the word projection, just like there's different definitions for different words, right? Like projection is one of those words. Like there's the projection that Roger talked about, but then there's also the projection of what you do with your energy and attention. And that's the context. That's the definition I'm going to use right now. So if you're self-conscious, so Allison, you shook your head like you said you're self-conscious or nervous sometimes. So like what is it that makes you nervous?
I just think I'm gonna mess it up or look silly.
Okay. And who are you focusing on when you think those thoughts?
Whoever I'm speaking in front of.
And what are you saying, like when you look at this person that makes you nervous, right? And you're thinking, oh, I think I'm going to mess up. And what are you thinking exactly? I'm
Uh,
getting you to analyze that right now, by the way, and everybody else can just watch and figure out if they do the same thing.
yeah, I am mostly just hoping like for a good reaction out of them and hoping that I don't like stumble or come off awkward or anything like that.
Okay, good. So if you are looking at them, right, and you're feeling, it sounds to me like you're looking at them for like a reaction, but then somehow it bounces back to you and you're going to see how you feel or something in the moment.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like your attention is going back to you and how like you're going to be like, well, do I look good? Do they think I'm crazy? Like, do you see what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're for a brief second, you're identifying like them, but you're kind of like blaming them for how you feel.
Hmm.
All right. So basically what's happening there is you're being self-conscious, right? And you're basically being, what most people are. They're like addicted to themselves, right? And I don't say that meaning like you're like a narcissistic person or something. I'm just saying that we're all addicted to ourselves, right? Maybe you are. I mean, we we don't know, but most of us are like, what am I doing today? What am I eating? Me. Like that's just what we're. If somebody writes an email, you see the word I so many times in it. It's just like, oh my God, for Christ's sake. So what you have to understand is like, there's two ways that you're using your energy. You're either projecting your energy outward, in which case you're going to get something back, which is what you do in appreciation. So you're working that muscle of projection when you do appreciation, because all you got to do is send something out. And when you're self-conscious, who do you think you're focusing on when you're self-conscious? You're who?
Yourself.
Right, exactly. And when you focus on yourself, you're not connected, because everything is connected in this world. And when you're not connected anymore, then you're basically just in your own mind and you really don't have as much energy. And if you keep projecting your attention on yourself, it's almost like if you were a superhero and you had magical powers and you were like shooting them out of you, right? But if you're self-conscious, you keep shooting them on yourself. And if you've ever watched one of those movies, sometimes like the villain will get the hero and basically make the hero shoot their own like positive energy back on themselves. And then the hero starts getting like neutralized, because what happens to us physically is we start to get stiff. Our face starts to get red. Some people get hives. Some people can't even talk, right? Because what you're doing is you're taking all your energy and you're focusing it on yourself. So what you can get really good at with the appreciation exercise is simply just focusing on something outside of you. And that's what, like Dom, when we were setting you up for your monologue there, you were, there's a couple things going on at once. You were thinking about the moment before, but then I had you looking at that person and you were like, okay, yeah, the parole board guy, I see him, right? So now you're in the scene, because you're focusing your energy outwards, and whatever you put out, you get back. And that's how a real relationship starts. When you start putting something out that's positive, then you get something back that's positive. So if you're dealing with self-consciousness or nervousness, all it really is just a habit. It's a habit that you've been repetitively focusing back on yourself every time you come in contact with these other human beings. And then what happens is you think that they're making you feel nervous or whatever, and you're hoping that they respond good to you. And it's like, that's wishful thinking, because that's really not what's, it might happen sometimes, but eventually you let go of yourself and you just focus back on them. And then all of a sudden things flow out smoothly for you. So what you do is just practice it. Practice going to people and just going up to people, not like strangers in the middle of the night in an alley, right? But like, unless you're Catherine, because you could probably kick their ass, right, Catherine? You're an MP. You've learned some ways to take people down, right? A little bit. So basically, you want to find somebody. Starbucks is easy to use, right? At Starbucks, and just be like, hey, I love your hair, right? Like, hey, I love your shirt. Like, put out that energy, project the energy out, and then see what comes back. It doesn't mean that every time everybody can handle compliments, because everybody can't. But most of the time, you'll get energy right back, and then all of a sudden, you'll be in a really cool dialogue. And then that nervousness that you're talking about, you won't even be thinking about that. So that's the thing. Like, if you go on this audition there, Allison, just look at whoever's there, and just take them in. And you may not, maybe there might be 5 people in front of you, and you can't talk to all 5 of them, but just take them in and notice something about them, and then think about it quickly in your mind, so that you can project your energy out of your own head outward. And then that'll give some flow, that'll free up some flow for you. All right. And then it'll take that energy off, that self-consciousness energy. All right. So that's projection in that context. I hope that helps. And you just got to practice it over and over again. And I've already put an exercise in, which is appreciation, that helps you practice that over and over again. All right. Okay, cool. Blocking. Get a Reese. Can you hear us? Blocking is like, it could be literally like blocking, like, right now, what's up, man? Blocking, I'm like blocking my plant, right? It could be like that, but it's also like where you're standing and where you're moving, and like everything is set up when you're on a set, when you're literally like doing a scene. Because see, scenes are broken down into, it's not like a play where like you rehearse, and then it starts, and then it just keeps going continually. Scenes within a movie are like, they're small blocks of the movie. So one scene, from the time they get all the shots, could last like, I don't know, some could last a couple hours depending on how complicated, but some can last a couple minutes. But knowing your blocking and where you're going to be and where you're going to go, that's really important. And blocking is just the term that is used to describe that. Does everybody get that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So we've got about 14 or 15 more, but I want to get to some work so that we're not all falling asleep. So does anybody have any questions about any of these terms so far?
No, I'm good. What I got, yeah. But as far as, but no, my fault. What's going on, guys? All right, as far as the blocking part, as you saying, I couldn't tell, and that part, but everything else that we went over, I pretty much understand.
Cool. Yeah, and there'll be a recording, man, so you can listen to this back. All right?
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to get into work. Okay, did everybody do the homework with the monologue? Which was?
I did
Catherine?
not. Right. I did not get that done this week. I did not.
Okay, go to the corner of the room, get a Reese, wherever you're at. Okay, no, you have to stay there for the rest of the Zoom call. I'm sorry, man. This is just the way. No, I mean, seriously, look, this is an intro class, so it's expected that it's a new thing in your life. It's not militaristic, but as we move forward, right, it's kind of like you're either going to do it or not. And it's, it's like kind of like not worth either of our time or anybody else's if it's not going to be done. But people, we work ourselves out into that, and I don't just take anybody into the master class. We obviously go to make sure the work ethic and the commitment level is super high, because that benefits, you know, you guys and of course the studio, right? The reputation of the studio. So right now it's about getting habits, new habits, and getting them in check. All right. So what did you do, for example, like over the week for the monologue? What did you do? Like Roger, what did you do for it?
In terms of like just like practicing over the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kept on basically trying to memorize the lines over and over and over and over and over
Good.
again.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get real basic with you. You know what I mean? Like, okay, what did you do, Dom?
I did a deeper dive into the character, learned about where the prison was, who his best friend was, relations with him and me. I memorized it weeks ago, so that's not an issue. But I practiced on my own, was determining whether to sit down, stand up. So I was just kind of shaping things in my head, but really doing a deeper dive into the character so I understand who I am.
Awesome. Yeah. And mostly it's advisable to stand up because most of the time when you go to auditions and things, and even when you do self-tapes, you're going to be standing up. And that's just because, like, you know, it's, if they have multiple people coming in, they just want to kind of set things up once. But also, too, you have full range of motion if you're standing.
Yeah.
You have a better energy that you can portray when you're standing. So it just works. I mean, in some instances, you do sit down. So they might have a chair or something like that, or maybe you send the self-tape in that just has to be done at a
Right.
desk or something. But most of the time, you're standing. But
Okay.
it's good that you're experimenting. That's awesome. All right, Allison, what did you do?
I did some digging into the character as well. Trying to get a little more background on like when all the precursors happened. And I was practicing and ended up doing it in front, like I recorded it so I could see how it was coming off.
Good.
And was trying to look for like places where I could add a little more variety.
Perfect.
But when trying to do that, I was kind of coming up small. So I was wondering if you could give a little bit more, like I know you said like using like a verb is a good way to like brighten up a line.
Yep.
But could you give a couple more examples of that? Because I just like,
Sure.
I'm a little limited in what's coming to mind there.
Sure. Absolutely. So it sounds to me like you're talking about maybe taking a bigger risk when you say the things that you say within the monologue, and maybe creating more action or just more you want more to get something going on that's a little more than what you're coming up with, right?
Mhm.
So what you could do is give me context again from your monologue, like what it's about.
Yeah, it's about the secretary at an office who is telling everyone how she feels.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So right there. So, all right. So here's what you understand, everybody. So this is a comedy, right, Allison?
Mhm.
And it's kind of a more eccentric comedy, meaning like it's a little weird. It's not typical, just like jokes and people laugh. It's like people act a little weird, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So the opportunity for you is to really push you out of your comfort zone. And that's really the opportunity for all of us when we use these scripts and this material. It's not to replicate what you've seen, right? Even though like there's some awesome actors on that TV show, we don't really want you to kind of like watch what they do and do something kind of like what they do. We want you to somehow make it your own. And the fact that it is a comedy means that you can like literally like go bananas. Right?
Yeah.
So basically, okay, what is a line from there that you think is kind of funny?
It's not overly funny, I don't think. She's more like the straight character.
So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, don't even think intellectually about it.
Mhm.
Just the straight character can also say something very funny and out of character. You know what I'm saying? And that's what would be really
Right.
funny. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So I'm doing this for you so that you understand what it is. So don't try to intellectualize like what it is. You get it?
Yeah.
Good. So like, what's something that you think is funny in it?
There's a point where she is kind of like stumbling over her words and trying to say, like, basically she said like she was into the guy and now he has a girlfriend, and was trying to like backtrack and say that wasn't her point.
Okay. And how does she kind of stumble on her words?
She says, and now you're with someone else, which is fine. It's whatever. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not. And just kind
Okay,
of.
good. So right when you say that's not what I'm trying to say,
Mhm.
before you say that's not what I'm trying to say, make a crazy noise. I'm trying to make this as easy on you as possible and as specific as possible. So right before you say that's not what I mean to say, just make a crazy noise, which is like an interruption in thought, meaning like oh my God, I didn't mean to say that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So ready? Go ahead. Do the lines and then do that.
Okay. And now you're with someone else, and that's fine. Woo! It's whatever. I don't even remember the line now.
Okay, good. That was good. Good work. All right. So all you do is you let yourself go. It doesn't always have to be inside the script, because if you
Mhm.
say woo and you do a sound, like that's just like a character trait or whatever that just happened. Like you don't like nobody has to like write that in. You know what I'm saying? That would just go, that coincides with the character, because the character might be like super straight laced, and then all of a sudden they're like trying to express emotion, but they're not going to express emotion like a normal person would, just like oh okay, you're seeing somebody, darn it. They're going to be like really eccentric and ridiculous, and that's what you just did. Okay, now here's where it gets interesting. Now you have the same space that you did that woo or whatever that was, right? Now don't do that. Do something completely different so that you can try something else out and see how that lands. All right?
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not good on the spot. I'm trying to think of something different.
It doesn't matter. Just like go with the first thing you think, but not anything close to like woo,
Okay. And now you're with someone else, and that's fine. It's whatever. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's I don't know.
Okay. All right. So that's fine. So what you want to do is you got inspired and you did something the first time, right? And
Mhm.
now you kind of are closer to understanding what the possibility of what you could do is. Now you just have to sit there and think about like, all right, what could I do? And if you can't come up with something, it's really easy, because all you have to do is like look at comedians. Like, did you ever see like Chris Farley comes to mind? Do you know who Chris Farley is?
I know who he is, but I'm not very familiar.
Do you know who like Richard Pryor is?
No, we're striking out here.
How about
And you're old.
I know Richard Pryor. He's funny. He goes like, he's just funny. Period. Like if you watch, it's hilarious. That guy's hilarious. All right, let me think of some modern day comedians. So like, all right, Jerry Seinfeld, right? You know who that is, right?
Hmm.
So do you know how he sounds?
Yeah.
Right. So just do that. Just do how he sounds. But don't say a word. Just be like, like say the noise, like make the noise be like how he sounds. Got it?
Maybe. You want me to?
Yeah, do it. But just do it loud so that we can hear you.
Okay. And now you're with someone else, and that's fine. It's whatever. Uh, that's not what I'm trying to. I'm not.
It's okay. It's okay. So what I'm trying to do is give you a little bit of like, okay, so if you're doing a comedy, study some people that are really funny and see what they do, you know?
Mhm.
That's how you can get inspiration, by seeing like stuff that works for other people. And you can go, I mean, look, there's some modern day comedians that are really funny. I just haven't seen one lately, but there's some really funny people, and you could just watch them and see what they do. And then like you can do a variation of what they do, or maybe it makes you think like, oh my God, like, did you ever do anything funny in your life that your friends started laughing because you did it and it was funny?
Probably. Nothing like comes to mind right
Nothing
away.
jumps out at you.
No.
Like it's typical, like hanging out with Allison's like, hi Allison, how are you? I am great. Okay, let's go do this. Let's go do that.
It's situational.
Right. Okay. So that's the thing. Like, start to closely monitor everybody. See like what you say, if it resonates or invokes like laughter. You know what I mean? And remember that, because these are like the things that you want to kind of start to collect for yourself as an entertainer. You know, because you know like what works for you. Some things that you do will like almost never work. You think it's really funny in your mind, but then you go do it and it just never works because of many reasons. The way you look, the way you sound, because they know you're from somewhere. Like it does, for sometimes it just won't work. You have to keep experimenting, you know, and you have to, and that's like all we did right now was just experimented. I just showed you how to experiment a little bit and gave you like a little bit of a nudge about how you could possibly experiment. And, you know, naturally in the beginning, it's not going to be as easy, but over time, when you get more comfortable, you'll get more inspired and things will come to you quicker, you know, and it'll be like you're having more fun. In the beginning, you know, anything that's new is a little more like, I feel like I'm walking through like, you know, quicksand to get to where I want to go here. But that's like anything that's brand new is the way it's going to feel when it's brand new. But the fact that you're moving through it means that you're going to get to something soon. Right? Does that help you?
Definitely. Thank you.
Cool. Sure. Okay. All right. Catherine. Wait a minute. Where are we at?
Hey.
Did everybody, you talked already, didn't you?
So for the monologue prep,
Yes, the monologue.
okay. I have a monologue that I did, and I emailed you about because I wasn't quite sure which one I wanted to do. But since doing it, I've tried to kind of develop the backstory of the character or figure out their backstory, like doing like what is setting the scene, doing the visualization of it.
Yep.
And trying to memorize clumps at a time, and do that by like writing it down and doing it that way, or trying to do like one part at a time and then be like, okay, that word is my cue to go on to a different word. So
okay,
stuff like
okay, that's good. So one of the things like that's really important that you all realize, like, you know, sooner than later, is like kind of like, you know, some of you are already doing it, but like knowing your material is very important. Like you really gotta commit it to memory, and that's not easy either. That's like it could be very tedious, and you have to test yourself. Like, you know, if you have somebody, another human being that will just listen to you say it, that's really powerful. It really helps you to retain it. But if you don't, writing it down and recording yourself and repeating it is really good. Like, Allison, that's good. That's very proactive that you record it yourself. You know, that's good. So, but that is what you all can do, right? Like if you really want to get good at something, you got to just do it through repetition, by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter where you're at. Just get somebody, hey, listen to this, right? I wouldn't necessarily like, you know, go out your front door and be like, yo, you walking down the street, get over here, right? I need you to help me memorize. But, you know, try to find somebody that you know, maybe you offer them lunch, or maybe that you give them like, you know, I'll make you dinner if you come over and help me for a couple hours so that I can get this in my head, right? That's basically what you got to do. Now in the in the master class, like we have people kind of going over to each other's houses at this point, right? Working on scenes with each other. So, but in the beginning, I don't want to put all the responsibility on you if you don't really know how to exercise like a monologue, because monologue is like, that's just you. You see what I mean? So if you can't do that effectively, like how could you take on a whole other person and all that other stuff, right? So one thing at a time, but that's good. You went with the 2-minute one, right? Catherine?
Yeah. I
Okay,
did.
cool. All right, good. All right, so this is what we're going to do. When we get back, we're going to take a quick break, 4-minute break. And when we get back, we're going to actually start acting. All right. So anybody want to go first? How about we go Roger, Catherine, Dom, Allison, and then we'll decide between Ghetto Reese, and I can't see him anywhere. I can't see iPhone because all Ben's thing says is iPhone. But we'll figure that out. All right. So we'll be back in 3 minutes now because it's 7:37. So let's get back here at 7:40 so we can get going. All right. So take a quick break.
Oh, the hat came off, Dom.
Okay. All right, Roger, you ready, man? So what I'll do is I'll highlight Roger. If he's here. There he is. And we'll get this monologue. All right. Spotlight, actually, is what it's called. All right. Whenever you're ready, Roger, go ahead.
Sure. Give me a second. Try slate.
Yes, slate and orient yourself obviously towards, you know, whoever you're speaking to.
Yeah. I was thinking that because like last time I sat this way, I was thinking because like I'm talking to someone to my side. Is that okay?
Yeah, but make sure we can see the full kind of front of your face if possible.
So like this basically.
Yeah, because
Okay.
remember what I said? They want to see like the front of your face.
Right. Okay. So hello, I'm Roger Chu. My character is Chucky Sullivan from Good Will Hunting. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Fuck you. You owe it to me. Tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'll be 50. I'll still be doing this. And that's all right, because I'm gonna make a run at it. But you're sitting on a winning lottery ticket and too much of a pussy to cash it in. And that's bullshit, because I'd do anything and have what you got. So would any of these guys. You know, it'd be a fucking insult if you're still here in 20 years. Let me tell you what I do know. Every day I come by and pick you up. And we go out drinking or whatever, and we have a few laughs. But you know what the best part of my day is? The 10 seconds before I knock on your door. Because I let myself think that I might get there and you'd be gone. I'd knock and you wouldn't be there. You just left. And I don't know much, but I know that.
All right, not bad at all, man. Not bad. Give him a hand, everybody. All right, so how did you feel with that there, Roger?
That's actually my first time because messing around with the can. I didn't have a bud or anything. This is kind of out of character. I figured they're probably drinking like a Budweiser or something. But the scene, like they're kind of like drinking after work. And so I figure that's kind of like that felt like a little bit more what they'd be doing in that moment.
Good. Do you drink?
I do, yeah.
Okay, how often? Every day?
No, not really. Probably like a few times a week.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, don't drink every day. That wouldn't be good. But as long as it's water or sparkling water. So, all right. Now, tell us about the story again, but try to make it within a sentence. You're trying to refine your understanding of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's see. Story.
Remember?
I mean, the way that I understand is, so Good Will Hunting is about a person who is it's a coming of age story of a boy who's trying to learn to like love himself and basically just like love himself. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, good. That's good. That's all you got to say. Good. So now you can get more in touch with that. Now, based on what you did this week, what did you learn that's new about the character? Obviously, you brought some new stuff to it, which is great. Good job. You probably felt more comfortable inside of it, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, so Chucky is like the supporting character for Will, the main character.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I really, one of the things I've been exploring with him is kind of like, what's like the arc for this sequence of like this like scene and for this like monologue.
Good.
And I kind of to your point about trying something different. I tried, like, I think right now the way I'm playing is he's kind of like annoyed and like just pissed off and fed up with Will just constantly just like ruining his own life and just not pushing himself forward. And so the way I'm pushing it is I think the first part is he's pissed off and he's fed up. And then the second part, he kind of like calms down a little bit, but decides to tell Will something that has been in him for a while, which is the fact that, yes, he wants Will to be his friend for life, but but really he thinks the best thing for him is for him to just leave, right? And I had tried something else, which was I had tried to be more initially more just like annoyed,
Mhm.
just instead of angry at Will, instead of like pissed off. And to me, that didn't feel like, it just didn't feel like true to the moment, like where Chucky would have to be to like tell Will to like get lost, basically.
Okay, good. I love it. You're thinking more about it, and I think you're getting more of an understanding of what the mood is inside of this particular part, inside of this character, and getting more into the emotional life of it. All right?
Mhm.
Because you have to, like, this moment, right, is a moment in time that this existed inside the story, and you have to literally bring yourself. You have to go there, you know?
Right.
You literally got to go there. And how the hell do you go there? Well, you got to do a lot of detective work. And if you don't know exactly what it is, you really got to try something. You can't just go in and do it without trying something, because then you're going to not get any feedback at all. So don't worry about if it's good or bad or anything. Just go ahead and do something. So I feel like you got a little head, kind of head of steam, so to speak, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's good. You know, I think you're learning. The most important thing about it is understanding what it is that you're saying and doing. And that can't be stressed enough. Like, what are you actually doing there, right? If you don't
Mhm.
know what you're doing, then what, you know, you can't bring any reality, any energy to that moment.
Mhm.
So I like how you're starting to understand what's going on. That seems evident. So I think good job overall. What questions do you have? Anything?
I mean, one piece is that you know you mentioned earlier that typically you'll be standing for these type of things.
Yeah.
I mean, my sense is that they're kind of like sitting, especially because it's like end of the day, they're hard laborers, like
Mm-hmm.
their bodies are sore. I mean, is that something that I should still like get used to doing standing, or should
Yeah,
I
just
just?
get used to it doing standing, and I mean, you're gonna find that you're gonna feel certain things too sometimes, and
Mhm.
there's someone's gonna be like, "Hey, can you do it like this?" And you're gonna be like, you know, well, wait a minute, that's not what I feel. But then you're gonna realize, like, okay, this is show business. Like
Mhm.
sometimes things aren't always what they seem. So
Mhm.
sometimes you know, you're going to do one thing and you're not going to understand that the way it shows up on a camera or with
Mhm.
special effects is going to look completely different. So
Right.
don't get too attached.
Okay.
And that's another reason why I'm saying, like, with this, you know, that comes up a lot, like standing or sitting. Just, you know, practice standing. And then if you're going to sit, well, you can practice it sitting too, like one time just to see what that's like.
Mhm.
But most of the time, you're going to be standing.
Okay.
Like, I wouldn't say that, right? Everybody listen. I wouldn't say that after being in this business for freaking decades, right? If it wasn't true, right? I'm not telling you to stand because I feel like saying that. I'm like, Jesus Christ, 99% of the time you're going to be standing. So
Okay.
practice it no matter what, standing. And then if they want you to sit down, sit down.
Okay.
Simple as that. But if you want to do it on your own, that's fine. You know, you can see what it's like. But good work, man. Good work.
Okay.
All in all. Nice job.
Thanks.
All right. Yeah. Okay, Catherine, you ready to rock? Here we go. All right, spotlight. Spotlight video. Boop.
Hi, my name is Catherine Blankmiller, and I will be doing a monologue from Rather Be a Man, played by Kim. I don't know what it is with me lately. I just get, oh, when a guy comes up with his cheesy pickup lines. Hey, you look beautiful. Or, can I tell you, you have a beautiful smile. Oh, it's simply disgusting. I mean, who the hell does this guy or that guy thinks he is? What gives him the right? I do nothing whatsoever to attract attention. When I see eye contact happening, I look the other way. And still, they come up to me acting all suave with their cheesy pickup lines. It's repulsive. You know what I'm saying? What does a girl have to do these days? What does a girl have to do these days? Maybe if I vomited on myself, he'll walk the other way. No, I bet I still would get, the way you vomited on yourself was delightful. All I want is to be left alone. I have a man. I love my man. And I try to be respectful and all, but the irritation and the cheesy pickup lines are too much. Guys are blind, oblivious to when a girl isn't into them. These are the days I'd rather be a man. Thanks.
Okay, good job. Give her a hand, everybody. All right. So how you feeling with that, Catherine?
I'm still a little shaky with the lines, so sometimes I add extra lines. Or I
So
repeat
before you ad lib, make sure that you memorize whatever's there.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's always a good rule of thumb. And then after that, I mean, there's always going to be room down the line to add, but yeah, definitely understand what it is. So what's this story about?
So it's a play, and it's supposed to be a one-man comedy show about it's two best friends basically complaining about men in general.
There are sons of bitches, these men, I know.
So Kim is talking to her best friend Pam in like this I was always gonna be like, oh, like we're going back to her place to have wine or something like that.
Okay, so the step number one is that you want to find out a lot about your story, you know, because that's really like the core of all the energy, right? Someone wrote it, it means something. The character that you play is within the story. So the first thing you do is you go in and you almost like get to the heart of what the story is all about. And you find out what that is, and you investigate, and then you come up and you formulate, and you come out with a very coherent statement that describes what the story is about.
Okay.
So that everybody that hears it understands like, oh, okay, that's what that's about. And you 100% understand, because you would not have been able to have that statement if you didn't understand what the story is about. And then we work our way into the character from there. Do you see how that works?
Mm-hmm.
I've found that that's just an easier way, because you can get to the heart of the matter, and it opens your eyes up better to kind of a broader picture. And then you can see your character easier.
Okay.
So that's kind of step one. Then step two, that being said, is there anything you want to change about what you described the story to be?
I mean, the story is just two females complaining about men and then going back and forth. So
Okay, is that what it's really about, or what? What do you think it like? That's great what you just said, but think deeper into what you just said. Like, that sounds like surface level, but what do you think it is really about? Did you ever hear that book, Men Are From Mars, Venus, whatever the heck it is? You know what I'm talking
Men
about?
are from
Right.
Venus. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, overarching, it's comparing different gender roles in society and how
Good.
males and females were portrayed differently.
There you go. See how that feeds you into understanding a little bit more about who you're playing and where.
Mm-hmm.
So that should kind of shed some light on like what to do, how to do it.
Okay.
You get that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now moving away from that, now go to the character. So like give us about like 3 things that you have in common with the character. Don't
In
say
common?
Don't say you hate men.
No. I think the first one is being female. Second one is
Perfect.
having to deal with the cheesy pickup lines.
Got it.
And then the third one is that I'm married, so that would be somewhat of a commonality there.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right. So now what are 3 things that you do not have in common with the character?
So the first one is it seemed like it was in an inner city, like they lived inner city.
Mhm.
I live in the rural areas. Second is the person who plays it is Hispanic, so that probably isn't, and the character itself is somewhat like that, so that is something I don't have in common.
Mhm.
And then the third thing would be I guess her sass. I have to really work for the sass.
Good, good, good. These are all great things. Good. So you're starting to kind of pick it apart. You're starting to kind of see what's there, what, you got to the heart of the story. That opens things up for you. Okay, what is this character about? What am I about? You see what you're doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
You're just starting to kind of shake it out to get an idea so that you can now embody it more. Ideally, you literally are in the shoes of your character. You literally become your character, right? Ideally, we all love to be that great, right? Like a Daniel Day-Lewis right out of the gate, but it takes time. It takes time to see how you transfer, these things and how that works. All right. But that's good. What questions do you have?
None at this time. So back before you did the questions with it, like, is that kind of going to develop it more? The who, what, where, when, why,
Correct.
and
Correct.
then from each character, from the character, and then also from the scene in general. Correct.
Correct. Yes. Like, in the big picture of things, we're literally trying to, like, if this was a GPS system, we're literally trying to find out the exact coordinates of where we're at. Right? You're trying to find out where you're at. You're trying to uncover where you're at in the story as a human, in a personality, where you're at. Like when you talk to another human being and you say to them, "Oh, I know exactly where you're at. You're blah, 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 blah." And they go, "Oh my God, that's exactly it. That's perfect communication." Did that ever happen to you?
It hasn't happened yet. I'll put it that way.
What about with your husband?
Yes.
Good. Thank God. Right. So that means that you have a good relationship. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
So you as the actor, you're trying to do the same thing so that you have a good relationship with the character so that you can understand, and you're coming from that level of connectedness. And then if you're at that level of connectedness, just like with your husband, when you see something, he can see it through your eyes. And just like when he sees something, you can see it through his eyes. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you can do that with your characters, obviously people are going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that?
Yeah. Try to.
Okay, good. That's what you're trying to do. And we got to practice that because you practice it on different characters. Wouldn't it be easy if you just practice playing the same character for the rest of your life? Some actors do, but most actors don't. If you're Flo, the progressive woman, all she has to do is like be that crazy, white and blue, white pasted makeup lady all the time, like for the rest of her life, I guess, and get paid because it works. Do you understand? What's so funny, Allison? Yeah. Are you laughing at Flo?
I like those commercials. They crack me up.
Yeah. But it's like, do you all understand? Like that's who she becomes. You know what I mean? Like you don't even know like what the hell she's really like, that woman. Like she's probably, Christ, she's probably nothing like that character. You know what I mean? She's just a normal human being like anybody else, but she's playing that character day in and day out. I think she does other stuff too, but I'm just using that one character example so that you can understand. But if you're going to get good at this, you got to understand how the hell does that happen? All right. But good work. Good work. Give her a hand. All right. Who's next? Who do we decide was going next? Dom. Okay, let's do it, Dom. And spotlight. Ta.
Hi, I am Dominic Anapete, playing the role of Red from Shawshank Redemption. Rehabilitated? Well, now let me see. You know, I have no idea what that word means. I know what you think it means, but to me, it's just a made-up word, a politician's word. Young fellas like yourselves, you have your suit, ties, have a job. So what do you really want to know? Am I sorry for what I did? It's not a day goes by that I don't feel regret. And no, it's not because I'm in here or because you think I should. I look back on the way I was then. I was a young, stupid kid who committed that terrible crime. I wish I could talk to him. Talk some sense into him. Tell him how things really are. But I can't. That kid's long gone. And all that's left is this old man. And I got to live with that. Rehabilitation. You know, I have no idea what that word means. It's just some bullshit word. So go ahead, stamp your forms and quit wasting my time. Because either way, I don't give a shit. See?
All right. Good work, Dom. Good work. All right. So, real quick, what's that movie about? It's a great, magnificent movie.
Yeah, Shawshank Redemption movie's about a couple people that go in there and they actually find redemption and forgiveness.
Beautiful. They go in where, though?
Sorry?
They go in where? To prison?
Yeah, the Shawshank is a prison. It's a maximum
Got it.
security prison in Ohio, and Red, my character, is in there for insurance fraud, and he's been denied by the parole board like 30 times already. So,
Okay. All right. Now, do you feel like you picked specific choices of your own, or were you picking what you saw Morgan Freeman?
I'll be very honest. I knew this movie, and I looked online for monologues, but I didn't see Morgan Freeman do this role. I mean, I did. I mean, I saw the movie probably 100 times, but I didn't remember that piece. So I tried to make it my own a little bit.
Okay, good. Yeah, I thought you did a nice job. And it's like he is in front of a parole board, so he doesn't want to get too emotional to make it feel like he's, you know, kind of a risk, you know, to be out on the outside. But at the same time, maybe if there's kind of like almost like a deep emotion, you know what I mean? Almost like a choked up emotion. Did you think about that?
That's why I kind of paused for a little bit. I wanted to just kind of feel like, okay, here comes the bullshit again. I'm going to be denied. So I'm just going to kind of sort my feelings, take a breath, and then just tell them to go fuck themselves. Sorry.
Okay, good. All right. So that's good. And did you just let yourself stop and then start when you felt the moment was right?
Yeah, I was going through some I got a little, I don't know, I just start thinking about some things in my past. I don't know why they just hit me, but I got a little emotional, but I figured he would be the same, because it's just like, you know, how many times you have to go in front of people and say you're sorry and somebody's going to fucking forgive you.
Yep. Okay, good. All right. I think you did a good job, man. I think it's nice. I like where you're going with it. I think you understood what you're trying to carry out with it.
Mhm.
I mean, we could work on it and work on it and work on it, you know, for subtlety and all that. But I think overall, it was a nice go. What questions do you have right now?
One of the questions I have is, and I guess when every time you do a monologue or your audition, what do you do with your hands?
So first of all, you know, you want to have something that makes sense, right? So you don't want to do something that's like, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, hey guys, how you doing? It's like, well, why the hell is he doing the worm with his hand? That doesn't really make quite sense.
Right.
But if I'm like, hey everybody, looking good, right? That makes more sense because I'm saying looking good and I'm pointing out at you, right? So the motion that I'm making with my hand makes more sense. You got to think about it and you got to experiment. In the beginning, you're not going to know. You might think, oh, I'm going to do this with my hand because it makes sense. And then it's like, it comes off like this. So at first you want to just experiment with body movements, you know, experiment and exaggerate. That's why like theater is so great for actors because, you know, you're forced to get up there and exaggerate and use your body. And it's really important too, as an actor, to keep yourself in shape and to be physically moving around, you know, because it raises your vibration just moving around. All you guys seem very active, all of you. So it's, you know, it's important to do that, you know, to get in touch with yourself. Does that help, Dom?
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I mean, my character, I had my hands behind my back because I wanted to feel cuffed. But I was thinking, you know, in the future, if I did a love scene, you know, how important or, you know, you don't want to do the Will Ferrell, like the microphone and tell them.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
you're going to have to start to experiment with that. And you'll start experimenting with it, you know, with your hands. And like, yeah, your hands and everything about you, your body, proximity, all that stuff, you're going to experiment with that. And that would be
Yeah.
like when you get into working on a scene, you're going to want to use your body, you know, to create things, you know, because, you know, if you move closer to some people, it can intimidate or make them
Yeah.
respond in whatever way. It creates something. Movement creates something. All right, good work. Let's keep moving along. Good stuff, man. Way to go. Awesome. All right, who's next? Allison, let's go. Okay, so we worked a little bit on this with you. It's your opportunity to be goofy, you know?
Oh gosh.
You pick-
Okay.
You know, so just go for it. Get as much as you can out of it. Go ahead.
Oh man. Okay. I'm Allison Yo, and I'll be playing the role of Pam from the series The Office. Hey, I want to say something. I've been trying to be more honest lately, and I just need to say a few things. I did the coal walk. I did it. Michael, you couldn't even do that. Maybe I should be your boss. Wow. I feel really good right now. Why didn't any of you come to my art show? I invited all of you. That really sucked. It's like sometimes some of you act like I don't even exist. Jim, I called off my wedding because of you, and now we're not even friends. And things are just like weird between us. And that sucks. And I miss you. You were my best friend before you went to Stanford. And I really miss you. I shouldn't have been with Roy, and there were a lot of reasons to call off my wedding, but the truth is that I didn't care about any of those reasons until I met you. And now you're with someone else, and that's fine. It's whatever. That's not what I'm not. Okay, my feet really hurt. The thing that I'm trying to say to you here, Jim, and to everyone else in the circle, I guess, is that I miss having fun with you. Just you, not everyone in the circle. Okay, I'm gonna go walk in the water now. Yeah, it's a good day. That's it. I'll work on Goofy next time. I got too nervous.
Okay, good job. All right, that's fine. That's fine. Good job. All right, so for example, it's this woman and she's like trying to kind of tell this guy that she likes him. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, it's kind of a combo of telling her coworkers that she feels underappreciated and that she left her fiance for this guy and now he's acting like she doesn't really exist.
Okay, so like, are you talking to the guy?
She's talking to all of her coworkers and the guys in the circle, and so is his new girlfriend.
Okay, so two things. Here's what you can do. This is called characters dialogue. So first thing is tell them about the job thing, and then the next thing, talk to the guy. But don't read the lines. Just come up with it. So you're underappreciated. So tell everybody why you're underappreciated.
Like as Pam?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I keep everybody in order all day long. I'm always cleaning up everyone else's mess. It's like nobody else has any regard for the rules.
Okay, so now just do the same thing, but like as if you're talking to everybody, telling them like, I clean up after everybody, but be weird.
I have to clean up after everybody, everywhere they go. I don't know how to be weird.
Okay.
like how can I be, how
Are
can
you sure?
Can
Are
you
you
give an
sure you don't know how to be
example?
weird?
Hey, watch it.
No. So, okay. Try this then. All I'm trying to do is show you what characters dialogue is. Try to be talking to the guy the way that you want to express to the guy, but you're very uncomfortable. So just talk to him. Be like, oh my God, I really like you. I want to hang out with you, just you. But like be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, think about what someone who's uncomfortable, what they do, what they look like. Like, do they like what do they, how do they sound? Are their voice quick?
Like this.
God, I can't talk. Like, right? So good.
Yeah, I just really missed you since you've been gone. And I know you're here with your new girlfriend, and I'm sure she's probably great. But I thought we had something going before you left, and I just wanted to explore that with you maybe.
Okay, good. Good job. All right, good. So all you're doing is just you're getting more comfortable speaking like this person, but now you really didn't push it too far. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of held back because you were kind of playing it safe. So I'm just illustrating that because it goes back to when we first talked at the beginning of the class, when you were asking about, well, how do I make it be more, a little more exciting when I talk?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm giving you an exercise to do that, but you literally have to participate in the exercise. And what's going to happen is it'll feel like it's very uncomfortable.
Can
See
you
what I mean?
give an example of what you mean when you say like do it weird? Like I just don't think I understand.
Well, okay. What was the first thing you were being? You're being like you were feeling underappreciated.
Yeah.
Right. So here I am, and I'm an awkward person. I'm in front of my company, and I'm feeling underappreciated. Like, I'm really starting to feel like really underappreciated. Like all I'm doing is like making my eyes pop open.
Okay.
Because I'm just trying to figure out, like, I'm really feeling like underappreciated. You see what I'm doing? I'm just pretending that I'm looking at the people that I'm saying that to, and I'm like being a little awkward.
Okay.
Right? You get it?
Yeah.
So it's just acting weird. It's just like acting like someone that's underappreciated that says, I feel like I'm underappreciated. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, quit your job or work your ass off. There's two things. Nobody's underappreciated because the people that work their balls off, they get noticed. You know what I'm saying? The problem is you. And most of the time, those type of people will come up and they'll be like, I feel like I'm underappreciated. You know, and it's like, yeah, obviously. You see what I mean? Because you're thinking you think that like the Caesars are supposed to part just because you do what you're supposed to do. That's
Yeah.
where, and look, a lot of professional people are like that. They're just not used to like having to like sleep on the floor and eat cardboard for dinner. You know what I mean? They don't know what the hell that's like. So they're like spoiled a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to help you with that. And I'm just saying, hey, you know what? Just act really weird because that's really kind of what underappreciated people that are like really needy and like really like, you know, trying to get people to give them high fives every 5 minutes. Like that's what they act like, you know?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
And then if it's some guy that you really like and you don't know how to respond to him, then just be nervous, act nervous, be like, oh, I really like you, you know? All right.
Yeah.
But good work though. We got to keep moving along here so everybody else gets a shot, but good stuff. I hope that helps.
Bernard, real quick, could
Yeah.
you define characters dialogue?
Characters dialogue. You just talk like the character. So if you're like from
Okay.
Texas and you know that your character's from Texas, you just be like, all right, characters dialogue. I'm from Texas. Yeah, all got to come down to Texas and eat one of these big porterhouse steaks because they're the best you're ever going to have in the whole goddamn country. They're the biggest, thickest steaks you ever seen down here in Texas is how we do it. You know what I mean? You just talk like they do a little bit. You talk about something that they would have down there. Everything's a little bigger in Texas. They like their steak. You know what I mean? Anything like that, right? Anything that is they kind of can geolocate and that makes sense. All right, let's get to Get a Reese. We're gonna start calling you High Rise Reese, or or wait, what do they call those things? Oh, Suburb Reese,
Suburban Reese.
Suburban Reese. All right, Beverly Hills Reese. All right, go ahead, Get a Reese. You ready?
All right, hold on. Let me get the excerpt. I keep using my space. There you go. All right. Hold on. Let me sit it down. Hold on, guys. I gotta sit this down, man. All right, here we go. Some light up in this job. All right, sit that there. So, my name is Ghetto Reese, and I'm doing my excerpt on Jesse Kostopoulos on Full House, and he's another person who's been unappreciated. So, this is my rendition of that, and I've been trying to apply what I learned. So, give me a break. Don't harm me. You walks in here 25 minutes late, and you expect sympathy. I have cleaned. I have washed all your clothes. I took this one to daycare. I took this one to the dentist. Thanks to me, no cavities. I have slaved over a hot stove all day. And you come home. I'm sorry. Sorry. You did not change. It did not change the fact that you came and my chicken tetrazzini was dry. Ruined, I tell you. Ruined. But do you have any common courtesy? Do you? I just want to know. Do you got any common courtesy? Nah. You don't care. You tell me that you're going to be 25 minutes late. Did you tell me you're going to be 25 minutes late? I don't think you did. So I'm not the animal here. I'm not. Wait, what am I becoming? Who am I? Insane.
All right, good, man. Good. Give him a hand, everybody. All right, not bad, not bad. Only one thing, Ghetto Reese.
Yes.
Honkies are much more drab. They're very like, you know, like wah, 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 they talk like that. It's like ah. Okay.
For real. You right.
So okay. So you're basically playing like Uncle Jesse, right?
Right.
All right. So what's going on with the family unit? Like, who are you inside the family?
I'm the person that I'm the more realistic one. Everybody sort of maintains a level of youthfulness, and I bring the reality of being adults to the situation.
Okay, good. That's good. All right. And again, get in a sentence, describe like what this like the whole thing is about, the whole story.
Oh well, the whole story.
Excuse
I
me.
mean, the whole story is pretty much about unity, different diversities, overcoming different diversities, different obstacles, but as one unit though, and maintaining that unity.
Okay, good. And then what is this character of Jesse like? You know, what are some things that you learned about him over the past week? I know you said that you didn't do much of the research, but what are you starting to pick up as you kind of explore it more?
That he's really an emotional person, but he hides it behind his bravado.
Okay, good, 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 good. So I like what you did with the teeth. You did a little more with the teeth. That was good, right? Because that's just an opportunity. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
a funny comedy, so that's good that you were like doing that. And then, but what you just said, I think, is key, where you can kind of be like a little more aggressive, you know, with that bravado,
Right.
and then kind of show that he's kind of putting on this air somehow. You know what I mean?
Right.
But other than that, it was good. I mean, you knew the words. That's good, and you were playing around a little bit. But the deeper you can go, the better it's going to be. You know,
Right.
the more levels of thought that you can get into, like the words that you're actually saying, then the more power everything's going to have. Because you got to understand why you're saying what you're saying, and it needs to make a lot of sense.
Right.
And again, you got to have a strong visual of where you're at and who you're speaking to. And then things tend to start linking up. So what questions do you have right now?
You just answered it pretty much. Basically, how to continue to get like different ways to get in more in tune with the character, like more
Good.
becoming of the character, like wearing it as a second skin. So you pretty much like just answered that. So I really don't have no question, unfortunately.
Okay, good. Well, and then also too, like you got maybe get yourself into a family that a bunch of white people family and get in there and like observe. Do you see what I mean?
Right.
And just take notes and hopefully they have like similar where they have like how many kids are in that TV show? It's
Well,
like,
like 5, 6.
yeah, like so you know you got to infiltrate like a bigger family, you know, 5 or 6 people. So if you know anybody like that, or else just start observing and watching, you know,
Right.
whatever you can watch and get an idea. All right.
So I'm just
All right.
waiting for the invite. So you know what I'm saying? Just invite me over for dinner, and I can start this research, and you know what I mean.
I live all by myself like a hermit, so I'd be the wrong person. And
I'll
I
listen to any
don't
ideas.
have stuff like that going on over here. It's like it's all work or something else. So
Right.
so just but that's what you got to do. Like just you know get into that space because that it'll show you the things that you need to know to kind of further elaborate. All right. Good work. Good stuff. All right, Ben, you around? Good job, man. Ben, are you around? We're going to see the eyes and the bridge of the nose from Ben in like 5 seconds here.
As always.
Ben? Ben? Where are you at, man? Where's he at?
Where'd Ben go?
Hold on. Maybe he stepped off for a second and he's talking to some of those people that he was talking about earlier that pissed him off. Can you hear us, man? Yeah, I don't see him anywhere here. Ben, you gone? All right. So anyway, listen. Good work. We still have there's about 10 more things that I want to tell you on the task list. Can you go for 5 more before we close the night? I mean, if you have to leave at 8:30, just tell me, but can you guys jot down 5 more or what? You have to leave, Ghetto Reese? You have to leave? Oh, you're saying you want it. Okay, good. All right. So we covered blocking, hitting marks, right? So marks is literally like if you walk into an audition, you're going to see a little piece of tape on the floor. That's a mark. You want to hit that mark. Don't worry about magically walking into the room and like touching the mark. Just practice it. Like, and I mean, you know, you want to be more practiced at that if you walk into an audition, but just practice it at home is what I'm saying. Like put a piece of tape on the floor and just practice walking to it. Because you'll realize you're like, you know what? There's an easy way to get to that piece of tape. You can start using spatial awareness. How many steps does it take you to walk in? Look to your left, look to your right, estimate where you're going to end up. You know, just practice it. Go through the motions. It doesn't have to be that difficult. Hitting your mark. Sometimes they're going to set up the cameras at a certain place. And the reason they want you to deliver at a certain place is so that they don't have to reset the lighting in the cameras. You know what I mean? Because they're focusing it, they're getting light. Light's tricky. Like light is like, it's always going and changing depending upon what the light outside's doing, it's changing. They have to try to like, you know, harvest the light. If you're inside, sometimes like, you know, for instance, where Catherine's at, she has like kind of a shadow in that back corner. It's taking light. Do you get that? If there's darker things like where Dom has, he's got like a kind of a darker couch, that's going to take some light in. So I purposely, I just have a white background and I have light coming at me. So that way it just bounces all over the place. Do you guys understand that? So that way it just maintains like a, you know, a certain level of brightness. You know, Roger, you have a window over there. That's kind of taking some light. Allison has a similar situation, just kind of a neutral background. She's bouncing light off so it sticks. Ghetto Reese, same thing. Ben, I'm not sure. But that's important, you know, block or hitting your mark. Protocols. Now, protocols is like when you get onto a set. And this is a really good thing, Dom, for what you said about, you know, you kind of want like a blueprint. I feel like I should create something that just is like an A to Z blueprint of getting onto a set. Where do you start? What do you bring? How do you act? Who do you talk to when you get there? But of course, that is protocols, right? So everything I just said, there's a very specific way to do all that stuff. You certainly don't go on to a set being loud because you never know what's going on. They could be doing a room tone. A room tone is when they just turn the recording on to get the sound of the room with no other sound, so that they can compare it to the audio, so that they can make sure that when they record audio, if they have to dub something, that they have like, you know, things set up appropriately. And I'm not a sound master, but I'm just saying there's things like that that are happening. And sometimes if you don't hear that they're doing room tone, they need you to be quiet. So if you start talking, what'll happen is somebody will be like, shh, quiet. Like they'll want to chop your head off because they don't want to keep doing it over and over again. You see what I mean? So protocols, there's all kinds of protocols. And that, you know, that's something, yeah, I literally could make products on protocols. I could be like, okay, guys, this is what this protocol is. This is what this protocol. That way, you know, you don't have to go in and like make mistakes in front of somebody. And behavior goes with that too. What's your question, Dom? Go ahead.
Just a real quick thing, and that's what I said. It's like there's nothing, or there's nowhere you can go to find this online, or unless I can't find it, unless, you know, maybe books. But it's really hard to find like all these protocols. It's a little frustrating too, like when you're in that beginning stage. So,
no, I'm creating some stuff right now, so I appreciate that because I'm going to start creating around what you just said. Would that help everybody? Does everybody feel the same way about that? Like for example, Dom, you're talking about what do I do my first day on set?
Well, it's not, yeah, I mean, I
Or
think even
what?
leading up to the set, you know, it's like, when we talk about scheduling and planning, like for me, like I like to say, okay, I'm patient. I know I have to take this course. I know I have to get better. But after this course, what's step two?
Got
Should
it.
I get headshots? Like there's really not too many mentors out there or people, you know, that freely give this information, and maybe because it's competitive market. But I think having that step by step, even the smallest things like, okay, should I get a casting agent? Do I have a New York look? Do I have an LA look? Yeah, I mean, do I sound ethnic? I mean, I don't know, like things like that to kind of steer you to the day where you have to do that audition, I guess. Like a step by step, almost like we used to do a Six Sigma project in at Citigroup, but it was like basically just getting from point A to point B, every single role, you know, and then of course how to better it. But nonetheless, it was like a timeline.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to put a paragraph together and email that to me, I'll start to work on something.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Anything I could do. Appreciate
Tell
it.
me what you want to hear in that thing, because what your
Yeah.
ideas are great. I love it.
I think even after this class, I think every class that you have, you know, and again, the mentor class is fantastic, but there are people there that are probably a little more established than me and probably everybody in this room here. But to have something like, you know, okay, well, guys, headshots. Well, for me, like, when should I get a headshot? Do I get a casting agent first? What casting agent should I go to? What are some things I need to look at? You know,
Okay, perfect. Yep. So give me that like in a paragraph, and because most of it I do have already, but I love what you're saying because it helps to organize that, and it could maybe give relief because then at least you know, okay, cool, I'm working towards something. I
it,
got 3 months, and then I got to get some pictures so that I can start because that
it
should
helps
be.
for confidence too. Like, for me, it's like if I know like what the steps are, to me, it's like, okay, cool, I'm right here. Or you
Yep.
know what, step back and I don't know, just a thought. Sorry.
That's a great idea, man. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Perfect. Um, Behavior, your behavior should always be respectful. You don't want to fight with people. You don't want to like, if the director's like, hey, could you try this? You'd be like, well, I don't think you should do it like that. I don't know. Now, if the director tells you to do something that you have a core value that says, no, don't do it, then don't do it. Right. If the director says like, and obviously most of that comes down to like, if it becomes like some kind of, sex scene or nakedness or whatever, you should know all that stuff up front. All that stuff with the clothes, I know, Dom, you were asking about that too.
I've done many sex scenes. Just I can't share that video. I'm kidding.
You were wondering when the clothes come off and when they go on, right? So no, but you should know all this stuff ahead of time, and you should be 100% comfortable and understand all these things. No, there's no like you get there and all of a sudden somebody like springs something on you and then you feel like, oh God, I'm like under the pressure, because no, that's bullshit. That's not good. All right. So definitely there's a way to get around that, and talk about that and in a professional way, and most of the time you get paid more money if that's something, that's going to make sense. Continuity means like, doing the same thing over again. If I say to you guys, hi, action. Hi, my name is Bernard. How are you? Cut. Action. Hi, my name is Bernard. How are you? Cut. Action. Hi, my name is Bernard. How are you? Cut. What's the difference in continuity there? 3 takes I did, right? Action, cut. I did 3 different takes of the same dialogue, but there was something different in take 3. Anybody know? Allison? The wave? Yep, the wave. So the first 2 were continuity driven because they both had the phone. The third one had no phone and it was me waving. So that was out of continuity. If I was in continuity, all 3 takes would be pretty much the same. Sometimes you're going to want to do that all the same because they want it the same and they're trying to get different angles and different shots. But sometimes they will say to you, hey, can you try something completely different? We're trying to go for something completely different. But other than that, stay within continuity. All right? Because people will, if it's good, people won't say anything. So you don't have to say, hey, well, how was that? If they're not saying anything and they're saying action cut, all right, that means it's good. They may not every single time say, way to go, good job. They may not say that. Someone may not say that. It would be nice if they did, but sometimes they won't. Because they're so like they're thinking about like what's next. You know what I mean? So if you didn't screw anything up, they're just like, okay, cool. This actor knows what they're doing. Great. Let's keep moving, you know? They don't need to congratulate you every time you do a take because that's your job. Does everybody understand that? Cool. All right. This other one, well, wardrobe. Wardrobe is really important. Wardrobe is important because any little detail that you can add in will certainly help to articulate your character in a very, a very physical, visual sense, right? So any particular wardrobe that you can have, wardrobe could be clothing, wardrobe could be this. Look, I have this thing on my face. I actually taped this on, this hair on my face, right? No, I grew it, but it's like a wardrobe in a way. You know what I mean? It's different. If it's smooth, if it's baby face, it's a different feeling, you know? If it's got so every little thing that you do with the way you wear your hair, if you wear it to the side, if you part it down the middle, if you blow dry it, if you all these little tiny details mean something. The way you wear your shirt, is it wrinkled? Is it not? Like all these things mean something. So keep that in mind. All right. All right. Who's got a question about anything we just covered? All right. So next week it's going to be, I want to do a final take for everybody, but I would like you to, obviously memorize it as much as you can. And I want you to bring in a different, a different aspect of the character because you found something this week. You know what I'm saying? Like you really have found something. Review the vocabulary, do all the exercises, and then bring questions. Bring some questions, okay? Because tomorrow is like week 6. We still have the on-camera workshop, which is going to be, you're going to get a recording. I'll have you watch, and then I'm going to actually get the guy that taught it, and I'm going to bring him in for a Q&A so you guys can ask away questions and all that stuff, all right? But I do wanted to know who is interested in continuing forward so I can know if I can create this intro class or not. Okay, cool. So a couple people are definitely interested in that. All right, awesome. Perfect. So that I think it's going to be Tuesday night. I think I might just keep this night, Tuesday night. And it might just go like that. And I got to say, like, Dom, your question's good. I think what might be helpful would be for me to orchestrate a plan of attack for that intro class. So if that intro class is a month-to-month class, at least okay, I'm going to get this in the first month. I'm going to get this in the second month and this in the third month. And then that I think could help. That'll help. But at a certain point, the main focus is going to be to get on a call and do work, or even to get in physical and do work because you got to do that. You actually got to do the acting work and things need to get more complex and things need to get, deeper. All right. Anybody have anything else before we wrap? Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, I have a specific question to you about headshots because Don reminded me. I have to get headshots for something else. So I was going to ask about like advice about getting acting headshots.
Yeah. So I have somebody in Philly. I work with pretty much all the photographers, and a good friend of mine's in New York. He's one of the top photographers there. And he's more like $600-700, but he does like executive, but he does actors headshots a lot. I mean, that's his specialty. But I don't know, going to New York, $700-800, but I have somebody in Philly that's really good. Also been an actor, excellent photographer, always does a great job. His package, I think it starts at like $200. So it's completely affordable. Awesome guy, knows what he's talking about. And I'll refer him to you all. Okay.
And then,
so I work with him exclusively. So in other words, like he told me what his package was. And I said, all right, well, if I send our people over, can you give it to them for like $50 cheaper? Because it's only like $250 or whatever it is, or $300. So he gives it like $50 off. And, you know, it's a damn good deal because I paid $300 for headshots back like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So for what he gives you, it's really good. And then I help you with, I'll tell you how to prepare for that day.
Right. That was my
what to
question there.
wear, you know, what solid stripes, what to think, what to, you know, whether to eat or not. I'll help you with all that stuff. Makeup, no
Okay.
makeup. All right.
Okay. And then
Awesome.
I had another question, which is for everyone else.
Yeah.
If you guys would be interested in doing like the call, maybe like later this week, we can try monologues and just bounce monologues off each other. I'll send an email out to everyone and we can kind of
Okay.
arrange
Well, Roger, if it has to do with acting, you got to okay that with me first. You know what I
Okay.
mean? If you're, cause you can't come on to a call with a whole bunch of people and ask them a question and put it on the spot. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? That would be an example of what not to do, but you did it, which is fine. But you first asked me, is it okay if I ask everybody if I can have their, you know what I mean? Cause when it comes to acting, there's nobody that's teaching acting in this group, right? Cause this is my business. Do you understand? But if you want to get together socially and you want to like help each other, I'm all for that. But that's what I have the mentorship group for. Do you understand? But if
Right.
your intention is just to have everybody, you know, you want to get camaraderie and you want to help and support each other, man, I get that. That's fine. But I can never let anybody do that because it's just not something I can do. Right. Do you understand?
Right.
I can't
Yeah. I mean,
condone that. I can't be
right.
like, yeah, sure. Cause people have tried different things and it's like, you know, you have to understand what it takes to organize people onto a Zoom call that are paying money to be on a Zoom. It takes a lot of work and effort. Right. So it's certainly something I would help you with, but you got to give me a little more detail and talk to me privately before we do that.
Right. I
Okay.
was thinking about like just practice before next class.
Yeah, that's fine. I get it. So if you want to figure something out like that, just talk to me. We'll figure something out. I'm all for that. All right. But you got to tell me like a little bit more about what you're going to do with that. I've had a lot of bad experiences, let's just say, right? Both with people that are teachers and both with students, you know, that have done stuff. And sometimes people that come in and they're like, can I talk about my thing? And next thing you know, they're like promoting their thing. And it's just like, I never told you could promote your thing. This is my business. Unless we have a business deal, you don't come on my business and start promoting your thing. You understand? That's just the way business runs and, you know, whatever. Not everybody knows that. I understand that. But I'm certainly supportive of you supporting each other. That's for sure. But I'm hopefully trying to give you ways to do that. That's why I have a business, right? So we can chat about that offline if you'd like to. But other than that, good work, everybody. Keep it up. We'll see everybody next week. And then I think what I'll do is I'll just have like the on-camera workshop Q&A. Probably like I could do a couple things. I could do it like that same week and bring Larry on that week, or I could do I could actually have it like the next consecutive week. So you guys think about that and you can let me know next week what you want to do. Because I just have to make a phone call and do a scheduling thing with him so that we can get him live for an hour or so. But you guys let me know. If you want to go right at it, we can do that. If you want it another week to digest, we can do that. All right? All right. Awesome. Good work. I'll see you.